This is Tim Willis with a face made for radio and a voice made for newsprint, and this is ClickFunnels and Click Designs, and today we're going to be working ClickFunnels 2.0, and this is going to be a video that builds up on an earlier video in which we looked at the Google Fonts website. And so what we're going to do is we are going to actually install some Google Font files into ClickFunnels 2.0. Beginning with, there's nothing special about Google Fonts. I just picked that website as an example of a font repository that we can use in ClickFunnels 2.0, and also remember that you do already have a generous collection of fonts pre-installed in ClickFunnels 2.0, so you want to go ahead and check to make sure that the font you need isn't already there. And that being said, my other advisory as far as using external fonts and installing them in ClickFunnels 2.0 is that you should be very disciplined in what you do that, and I speak from personal experience. When I first had ClickFunnels 2.0 and kind of went crazy installing a bunch of fonts, and it kind of turned into a mess, and we'll see why that is later on in this video. So from the main panel of ClickFunnels 2.0, we're going to go down to our settings icon. That's the gear. Click on that, and then we want to go to My Assets. From My Assets, we're going to look at our toolbar here. It says Images, Course Videos, Downloads, Audio Files, and Fonts. We want to click on Fonts. I want you to, for a moment, look at what we're looking at here. We see some fonts already installed, and this takes some explanation. This confused me at first until I realized the Fedonka 1 font, where it came from. This isn't my main workspace, so I wouldn't normally install fonts here. I'm just using it because it's good for the video because it doesn't have much things in it. First thing I thought was, well, where did these fonts come from? And then I figured it out. Because I use Click Designs as my image editor, and because you have a text function in there, or you can choose different fonts for your text, what that means is at some point, and I'm guessing here, but it makes sense, that I uploaded an image of some sort that had text on it, creating Click Design, and ClickFunnels 2.0 recognized that and installed the font. ClickFunnels 2.0 saw that the font was needed. And so that's the best tortured explanation I can give. But with that said, we're going to want to go to the Google Fonts website and pick something out. So let's go ahead and look at that. And we're going to pick out something so oddball we know it's not installed in ClickFunnels 2.0. Alright, so I think we're going to choose this Judson here. It's not the most impressive thing I've seen, but it will work because I wanted to get something that had multiple styles. And so let's go ahead and click on that. And you see this one has a 400 italic, and a bold. So that has different weights. Some of these will have only one weight, some have multiple weights. So right here, we see this button that says Get Font, so we'll click on that. And so from here, we can just download that to our computer. Now we want to go to the hot mess that is my desktop and go to the folder I've created to hold my Google fonts. I recommend you do this because that way you'll have all your Google fonts in one place. And this is a font I previously uploaded. Actually, it was for the first attempt at this video, which didn't turn out too well. But let's take a look. These are the files that got downloaded. So you see that we have, there's the zip file, original zip file. There's the two fonts, and here's some kind of notepad thing. So for each of these, you're liable to get several files. So to keep everything organized, I recommend for each font that you download, that you create its own folder. That will keep everything straight in case you ever want to maybe uninstall the font from ClickFunnels 2.0, but keep it on your computer in case you want to use it again. Let's go ahead and paste our zip folder here for Judson. And then I'm going to extract it with 7-zip, which is my preferred way of unzipping things. And that's because it gives me the choice to download the file in the same folder I'm already in, which means I don't have to go searching for things. Okay, so it's about the same thing here. We have our files for the font, and then we have some sort of notepad thing here. So let's go ahead and create a folder for Judson. Keep everything nice, neat, and organized. Hopefully thank ourselves for this later. Then we'll open up the folder, and there we have all our files. So now let's return to ClickFunnels, and we're back in the font section. And so to install our fonts, we're going to do this. We're going to upload the font. And you see here, it wants to give us a name. And then also, so you see it's going to want us to give a name to it. So you could actually put a different name to it, but I wouldn't recommend that. Let's go ahead and upload our file first. And we're going to go to our folder. So in our folder, let's go ahead and start with the Judson regular. And then we need to actually put that name in here. Create font. And you see it put it in there. And then so let's go ahead and upload the other two. Alrighty, so now we have all three in there. And then if we click on edit, just want to look at what our options is. It just takes us basically back to where we were. Alright, very good. So let's go ahead and go to our funnels. And I have here a font test funnel that I created earlier. It has just enough for us to work with. And it just has one page, and we're going to go ahead and open that up. And we're going to clear everything off because this is actually left over from the first aborted template of this video. So we're just going to get rid of everything here. And so we've got a section, a row. Now we'll put in a headline. And then we'll go to our settings here. We're going to go to override our font. Set the poppins right now. Instead, we are going to choose the Judson Bold, which you see is right here at the top under the custom category. Alright, there's our Judson Bold. Now, the thing about this is going to get weird is our weight. When we're working with external fonts, sometimes it will do things to the font, sometimes it won't. So in this case, this being bold is really not. And we're not going to worry about that too much. We'll just type something in here. Alright, that will be good enough. And then we'll add a subheadline. And go to the same process here. We're going to override it from Open Sans, choose the Judson Italic. Put it in there. Let's go ahead and change the color to black. We keep most factors equal. And then let's go ahead and make it a little bigger. Like that. And let's see if changing the so changing weight apparently is working on this italic one. We'll go with that, and then we'll put in a paragraph, and we will do this process one more time using the regular Judson. We'll just type something in here real quick. Alright, let's go back to our settings a little bit here. Let's go ahead and make that bigger. And then again, the weight does affect this one. And as far as the weights affecting the look of a particular font, this is also true within some of the pre-installed fonts in ClickFunnels 2.0. So that's just a more characteristic of the font and how it's formatted rather than anything to do with Google Fonts or the fact it's an external font. Alright, so we've got all that. We can see that we've got everything working here. And we got our 3 fonts. Alright, so let's take a look at one more thing, because here's where things get interesting and ties back to what I said before about being careful about how many fonts you install. Just don't go willy-nilly on it. Alrighty, so I just moved my picture over to the left-hand side so we can see better on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and open up our headline. We go to the font family and look at that. We want to look at this list of fonts here, and if you scroll down you'll see they're organized into different categories and then somewhat alphabetical. Actually, they're not alphabetical, never mind, that's wrong. Okay, anyway, there's a long list, and only here do we have our custom fonts that have been installed from external sources. Now you've got a search box here, so you can type in like Poppin. So you want to find that, start typing in, and you get Poppin. So it's going to filter it down as you type more in there. So that's sort of your life preserver right there, as long as you know the name of the font. This bar below here is supposed to filter things. So we have all, custom, sans serif, serif, display, handwriting, and monospace. And this is where, and I don't know whether it's a bug that has been fixed or maybe a bug they don't realize exists, but it does this either way. And this is what gets us in trouble with a whole long list of external fonts. So if we filter by custom, it just gives us custom. If we filter by mono, sans serif, it gives us custom and sans serif. If we filter by serif, it gives us custom and serif. In other words, no matter what we do when we try to isolate one of the pre-existing font categories in ClickFunnels 2.0 with the pre-installed fonts, we get this list of custom fonts showing up no matter what. So that's where the problem comes in. If you install a whole bunch of external fonts, you're going to have a long list. If you only do a couple, you're liable to have a long list that stretches all the way down here if we even start getting to your installed fonts. Because remember, each of these fonts, if you do the whole set, is very likely to have more than one file, because generally at least most fonts are going to have at least a regular or a bold, unless it's a very specialized font. And so that's what you want to try to avoid, just for making your life easier. And again, if we have a project where we need a font, we can install it, use it, go ahead, not a problem. Just be aware, of course, what I just said. But we can also uninstall the fonts as well. Say, for example, we're doing a project and for a client, and they want this funky, crazy font for their headline. We can install that, and then once we've delivered the project, and maybe wait a while, make sure we don't have to go back for revisions or anything, we want to get rid of that. ClickFunnels 2.0 makes that easy to do. So let's go ahead and save this. And we're going to go back out to our dashboard. And then we're going to go back to settings. And back to my assets. And back to fonts. So we're back in our list of installed external fonts. We see the 3 that were in here originally when we started the video, and then the 3 that we added. And so it's very easy to get rid of fonts you don't want. anymore that have been installed from external sources, you just click the trash can icon. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these Judsons. Now that we're finishing up the video, we don't need them anymore. Hopefully what I filmed is going to be okay, or else I'll have to do this again, but we'll see how that works out. Anyway, we just click the delete. It'll ask us if we want to proceed. We do. Then we'll click delete. And we'll click delete. And like that. And we're back to the ones we started with, which, as I said, I believe is probably because I uploaded some image with text that was made in Click Designs. And so I'm going to leave them there. So just, you might want to make a note of that. Anything, I don't know if you use Photoshop or use Canva, if it does the same thing. I assume it probably does. And so you probably want to go ahead and be aware of not uninstalling those fonts, because it may have consequences down the road. That is our exploration of installing external fonts into ClickFunnels 2.0. It's an easy process. You know, just don't go too crazy with the concept, and that's really it. So my name is Tim Willis. I'm a certified ClickFunnels funnel builder, and I make demonstration and tutorial videos on ClickFunnels, Click Designs, and other useful tools for funnel hacking, funnel hackers. That's pretty much the video for today, so I'll talk to you next time.